This is a picture of beauty in stone, beauty carved by man in the oldest of art media. It is a picture of a man and his work, of an artist and his creations. The compassion of some of his pieces, such as this one stimulated by a miner killed at his work, belies such phrases as stone-faced and heart of stone. These stones laugh. These stones have warmth. They can talk. They whisper. They even weep. This is the man, George Papashvily, a sculptor who works in rock to express the beauty born within his mind. These are his hands and his most used tools, the chisel and the hammer. Only when he uses the air hammer and grinder does his method of work differ from that of sculptors of 2,000 years ago. Such are his only compromises with modern technology. Yet through the skill of his hands and the patterns within his mind, stones give up their polished beauty, beauty that man and rock and tools join to create. Carving in stone begins far from the work block. The first step is finding a stone on which to work. Because this process is so much an interaction between the man and that which he sees, it is best that the sculptor himself tells where and how he finds the stones with which he works.
I usually go alongside the hills, which is, as a rule, they're falling down centuries to centuries of stones, and I have easy time to look for there. As a rule, when I'm going for a hunting for a stone, I don't have any particular object in my mind. But sometimes you find stones that will suggest by their smoothness and their shape, the idea, a form. Well, I chip stone generally to look for a color. When I chip the stone, I wet that fresh broken stone, and if stone has any color, will come out. And naturally, I don't know, I'm affected very much with the color stone, and I have hundreds of color stones, which probably I bring and never will do anything with them. And also I go on to by the rivers, which is also, it's very nice to hunt for a stone, because they're washing a long distance, and they are almost smooth, and you can see cracks and seams, and it's easier to pick up stone which you think really that has no cracks in them. And I also go down in the quarries, big stones that come from there. I go down here with a measurement, the width and the length and the height, and I pick up any one of them I see, because they are laying down alongside the quarry hundreds of stones. And if I can find one I want, then I ask the fellows to give me this size of stone, and they split for me as I want.
When ready to start work on a new piece, the sculptor usually looks for a stone in his own rock pile, which has been accumulated through years of searching. After a stone has been selected, a first rough cutting may be needed to bring it down to the general shape of the piece to be carved. Although this process may seem to be relatively unimportant, care must be taken that the stone does not break along a line different from that desired. If such happens, the stone may need to be discarded, at least for the particular piece in mind. In his choice of material, the sculptor who works in stone forces upon himself a demand not shared with the artist who works on canvas, or paper, or in clay. The painter, for example, needs to ponder a little more than the size of canvas to be used. He will supply the necessary color and the needed forms. But the stone sculptor must find his color in the stone itself, and to a degree, even the potential of his form. After rough cutting, the hammer and chisel are used to bring out the form desired. This process is the most demanding in creating the piece. Demanding both in terms of the artist's skill and in physical labor. The air hammer helps to make the physical work less. With the desired form achieved, the grinding and polishing process begins. Although the grinder can be used in the first part of this process, polishing is always done by hand. The sculptor judges when polishing should begin by the feel of the stone. Carborundum is used for polishing. This process is a slow one. An entire day's work may result as 2 or 3 square inches of finished surface. But it is only through polishing that the true beauty of stone can be brought into being. The hand and the eye set the limits of this portion of the work. The right feel and the right gleam are the standards by which the sculptor works. When finished, a light oil is applied to the figure to heighten the luster. It has been shown in a matter of moments. It actually takes 6 to 8 weeks to create such a piece. Some stones lend themselves much better to the carving of relief figures than to free forms. After a stone has been selected for a relief, the figure to be carved as sketched on the stone begins to stand out. In such work, there again is a heavy emphasis on the use of hand tools, although the air hammer with attachment also is used. With the figure complete, grinding and polishing begins. Again, the rough grinding can be done with power tools. But as the sculptor works the stone smoother and smoother, there is no substitute for careful hand polishing with fine abrasive stones. Polishing brings out the stone's color and gives added substance to the relief figure. Many and tedious are the hours that must be spent in such work before the artist can see his mental picture in stone. Such is the work of the stone sculptor, such the beauty of his art. What is the place for such creations? What is the place for any bit of beauty? Some give warmth to homes. They sit on desks and tables or on steps and porches. Others are in museums to give enjoyment to visitors. Most of George Papashvily's pieces find placement in the out-of-doors where they add to the attractiveness of yards or contribute beauty to formal gardens to which they are especially well suited. But why does one choose to work in so difficult a medium as stone? Perhaps the answer lies in the fact a breed of men whose burden is a quest for line and form.